assume from the size of this crowd that a lot of people must have had heating problems at home and the cold drove them here. I've also been told to announce that this is a first. We ran out of donuts. But I've been told everybody got at least one, so that should make everyone happy. I want to ask everyone to please turn off their cell phones, tablets, or other assorted devices that make noise. And I think we can get going. I also wanted, before I forget, to remind everyone that tonight is an important night. Make sure you adjust your clocks. It is daylight savings time. Change, fall back, set your clocks back. I'm not necessarily one to believe in getting up at, 2:30 in the morning to do that. Before going to bed seems to work pretty well. Okay. Our agenda today is pretty much as usual, and our presentation will be on new technology for 2015 and beyond, to give you some thoughts to think about for the holiday season. Financially, we're very much where we were last time. We're very sound. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for their contributions to the Grafton Food Pantry. I know that the people at Grafton Food Pantry are very appreciative of that, because we're a steady contributor to them. They pretty much can count on that. Our membership is going back. We're up to 1565. It's really amazing how large this club has become, and the varying levels of activity that are supported by different members and participated in by different members. Again, I wanted to remind everyone that computer repairs, we've been backed up quite a bit, depending on the day, but some days quite a bit. And we do have to limit the repairs to members' computers. Also, if you have any topics for general meetings or classes, please contact Frank or myself. Also, if there's anyone out there that would like to participate in teaching classes for the club, we really appreciate some help in that area. We've got a cadre of people that keep teaching classes, but to be honest with you, it'd be very helpful if we could spread that workload out over a few people. You don't have to start teaching right away. If you want to assist on a class, get a feel for things, but you'd be surprised how much talent we have in our group and how much help you can provide in that area. You don't have to be a PhD in anything. You just have to understand the product and be willing to talk about the product a little bit. We do have classes coming up. Our classes in the fall, in November, we're going to have Picasso. We will have our mail merge class, which we do every year for holiday cards and what have you. We're going to have a class on tablets, introduction to Picasso 3 of 3. Actually, Picasso is a 3-session class. 2 of the 3 sessions will be in November. We're also going to have a class on setting up home networks. You can see the website for details on those classes as to what's involved in each one. The newsletter, you should have all gotten the newsletter. Now, how many did not get a newsletter? Congratulations, most of our people, everything's working well. But we do have a lot of people who have bad addresses in their profile or a problem with Comcast that have not been getting them. We're working on that. We're trying to keep aware of who the individuals are that we have a problem with, and we're trying to get that straightened out. Also, if you have any comments for the newsletter, articles, and you don't have to develop the article. If you see something in the paper that you think would be of interest, if you'll just send that topic to Jim Nelson or to Bob Markham, they'll develop the topic into an article for you, or if you see an article, you can copy it and send it. But we're always looking for input for that newsletter to keep it current and to keep it interesting. Community Matters. On November 6th, which is this Thursday coming up, there'll be a series of meetings in this room to talk about the community budgets. It's important for people to understand the budgets. That's the basis of your assessments. The sessions are going to be three separate sessions. The APN neighborhoods, because they have some unique issues in their budgets, will be in the morning at 10 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, neighborhoods 1 through 20, and at 6 o'clock, neighborhoods 21 through 42. Now, if you can't make one, the afternoon sessions are going to be basically the same. So if you can't make one, you make the other. That's fine. But it's important to come up. Yes, Bonnie?
It's in Fountain View Center, not Grendel.
Oh, I stand right. That was it's in Fountain View Center, not Grendel. Excuse me. Okay, that was wrong. But at any rate, if you can on November 6th, try to attend one of those meetings. It's very helpful. The general board meetings, the next board meeting will be November 19th. December 3rd will be a special meeting to approve the budget and anything else that comes up. And the executive director meet and greet will be November 26th in the Fountain View Center, I believe, 9:30 to 11. One of the favorite things that we have here every year, and we thank a bunch of people for that, is the train group. The train group display will be running beginning on November 22nd through November 28th. I know a lot of you bring grandchildren and what have you, and older grandchildren and yourself to watch the trains go around. It's a great display. It's really a great public service on the part of the Railroad Club. Also, we have a White Christmas. White Christmas play is coming up by the theater group. There are still, I understand that it's getting pretty sold out. I heard last night that it's about 80% sold out. If you want tickets, you should make this particular slide is in your lifestyle, and you can get the details from that to get your tickets for White Christmas. And also, the concert band is having their concert in December as well, their Christmas concert. With that, I'd like to turn this over to Bill Zaletti.
Thank you, George. Good morning, everyone. In the last probably 6 or 7 years, we've stood up here around the holiday season and talked about all kinds of tech toys that we might want to buy for Christmas, and we focused them on cameras or cell phones or the likes of those things. And I thought this year might be an interesting year for us to not just look at what is changing in the world of technology, but how technology is changing and how it will affect our lives. And not only how it will affect our lives, both for improvement and maybe some challenges for all of us, but also what the cost of this may be and how we might want to look at the way that we entertain ourselves or travel or do different things. So my presentation today is going to be a little different from the past. It's going to be focused on what's really happening in the future of technology as far out as we can see. And as all of you know, this changes so rapidly, meaning 6 months to 12 months, that we can only, our vision out there gets real fuzzy real quick like, so we have a real hard time with that. But let me go through some slides and then we'll get into some questions. But as usual, if you have a question when I'm talking about something, please don't hesitate to ask me. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the home of the future. Now I've got a video I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes that was produced in 1999. My wife and I moved here from Baltimore in 2004, and sometime around 2002, on the mall in Washington, D.C., between the Capitol building and the Washington Monument, they had a complete town set up with what they call homes of the future. And what you're going to see on here, which is focused on Microsoft, was a lot of what they talked about in homes of the future. But some of the interesting features is when you walk in your home, as you walk in your home and you unlock your door, and you'll see that in a minute, the home now knows you're there because it knows who you are, okay, based on some biometrics, whether it's an eye examination or whether it's fingerprint or what have you, and it knows what your comfort settings are. So it's automatically going to change the temperature. So I happen to like 68, my wife likes 70, so if I walk in the house first, it's going to say 68. She walks in, it's going to say, I'm sorry, Bill, you know, we got to go to 70 today. You know? So, you know, it's going to bump that up for her. As soon as you walk in the house, the voicemail will start talking to you. And it'll tell you how many voicemails and who you've received those voicemails from. Cloud computing is going to learn standards, it's going to learn what you do. So it's going to be watching you to some degree, and it knows you're going to take medication. If you take medication in the morning, noon, afternoon, night, whatever, it's going to know that. And if it doesn't see you go to take that medication, it's going to remind you. Now, that's probably going to be something that's attached to our pill bottles that will sense us picking that pill bottle up. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do it, but it will know that. Send messages that you've arrived home. So when we leave our kids, they always say, text me and let me know you're home. When they leave and they go home, it'll text us automatically as they walk in the door to know that we're home and we've arrived home safely. And it will remind us to lock the doors, or perhaps in one of the videos you're going to see today, it will automatically do the door locking for you, depending on how that's set up. From a home maintenance standpoint, if you take clothes to the cleaners and you notify it that you've taken clothes to the cleaners, it's going to remind you today is the day you go pick those clothes up from the cleaners. It's going to know the plant watering system and know whether you need to water your plants indoors, and if you've got several types of plants, some that need to be watered every day, some that need to be watered weekly or monthly, it's going to remind you of those automatically. You're going to know what's in the refrigerator. This is a cool one, and this one I don't have a video on, but they demonstrated this in Washington in 2002. The refrigerators that we buy will be so smart that it'll be able to look inside of your refrigerator and see what ingredients you have, and then the next one is going to suggest what you might want to fix for that day based on the ingredients you have. That's available today, by the way. That's available today. And it's going to audibly read the recipe. So it's going to say, pull out and take eggs, if you're going to make an omelet, take eggs out and cheese out, and chop up onions and peppers and whatever else, mushrooms, what you might want to put in there. It's going to step you through those and watch you, so it's not going to get ahead of you. Somebody, George, asked me earlier, so what's going to happen if it gets ahead of me? I got to go back. No, it's going to watch you. It's going to know that you're chopping up mushrooms and say, next, chop up, you know. So just remember that, okay?
Internet and computer technology change not only how we communicate, but our everyday lifestyle as well. Today in What's New, we'll take a glance at how cutting-edge technology is being used in the home to change and to improve our lives. Leading this evolution towards an era of smart homes is Microsoft Corporation, among the world's leaders in dynamic applications of high technology. Let's take a look at the home of the future as designed by innovative engineers and scientists of Microsoft.
Welcome to the Microsoft Home. As Robin arrives home from work, there's no more fumbling with keys because her motion starts the entry process. All Robin does is look into an eye scanner. She can also use a voice or fingerprint to be let in. Robin is recognized by the scanner. The front door unlocks and opens. As Robin enters, she just touches Welcome Home on the nearest wall panel, so the house is set just the way she likes it.
There is one new voice message from Chris at 5:23 p.m.
While Robin is listening to the house report, the lights come on to preset levels. Music comes on. The shades are raised. Messages are played. Everything in the home is connected together and does whatever Robin and her family told the house they want to happen.
Hi, Hon. I'm on my way now to pick up Alex. I'll be home soon. And sorry, I know it's my night, but can you start dinner? Okay, see you. Bye.
Before Robin starts to prepare dinner, she wants to see if everyone in the family will be home in time. She can check the entire family schedule, but just to be sure, she sends her daughter Jessie a message. For Jessie, who's on her way home, it's just a simple matter of reading the message, then touching yes on her pocket PC. Back at home, Robin started dinner, but finds she's missing garlic, a key ingredient. So she brings up a map, which shows just where her husband Chris's car is at the moment. She wants him to stop and pick up the garlic. Using the home's name, she places a call using the home's network.
I must have hit that. Uh-oh. You gonna do it? Sorry about that, folks.
The internet and computer technology change not only how we communicate, but our everyday lifestyle as well. Today in What's New, we'll take a glance at how cutting-edge technology is being used in the
See.
There you go.
Back at home, Robin started dinner, but finds she's missing garlic, a key ingredient. So she brings up a map, which shows just where her husband Chris's car is at the moment. She wants him to stop and pick up the garlic. Using the home's name, she places a call using the home's network communications.
Astro, call Chris in the car.
Yeah, hi, I thought you'd be calling. You're not upset about dinner, are you?
No, that's okay. You can just cook a couple of extra nights for this one. Hey, it looks like you're right by Tom's Gourmet. It's 2 blocks up on your left-hand side. Will you do me a favor and pick up some of that garlic that I like in the jar? I'm making spaghetti tonight.
Okay, right, well, I'm picking up Alex too, so I'll be home in a few minutes.
While cooking dinner, Robin sees they're out of a few other things. She scans them into an electronic shopping list, which will be sent via the internet to an online grocer who will schedule the delivery. Or she can just toss the empty items out. A connected waste basket will add them to the shopping list. When the rest of his family gets home, there are many ways the house makes life easier. Dad might want to change the lights and turn on the news in the family room. He can control any room from anywhere in the house. Jessie, meanwhile, starts to practice the piano. It's connected to the house too, and can tell if her favorite show is coming on in a few minutes. It seems the TV wins out again. Her brother Alex has started his science homework. His microscope view is displayed on the monitor, where he can get a much better look at what he's studying. In the kitchen, Robin just about has dinner ready.
Astro, add butter to the shopping list.
The cooking period is done.
The stove, a smart appliance on the network, can send a notification to anyone, anywhere in the house. Alex sets the scene in the dining room by selecting family dinner from a wall panel. Besides setting lights and background music, this turns off the phone, unless Grandma calls, that is. The home can help protect the family's peace and quiet, or control interruptions. Tonight, a salesman comes to the door. He can only leave a message because the family dinner setting means do not disturb. After dinner, Dad decides to watch the news in the entertainment room. The kids, however, want to watch something else.
Dad, we want to watch our movie.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll send you up in the family room.
Yay!
Dad pauses the news and brings up the family room. From the on-screen video guide, he and the kids can choose what they want to watch from any different source already in or coming into the house. DVD, the web, cable, whatever. They don't have to figure out which device it's on or how to control it. It's all in the same list. Robin, meanwhile, is in the home office, where she has the same control over every aspect of the house from the PC, including heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. As the evening winds down, Mom's reading a wireless ebook. Dad's checking the weather on the web phone, which also can talk to the house. He arms the security system and turns out all the lights with a simple touch.
Astro, good night.
So you've seen how Robin, Chris, and the kids have the convenience of electronic lists, instant communication between family members, control over household settings and interruptions, as well as easy access to all kinds of information and entertainment. It's all powered by great software in this connected, convenient, and fun home.
Well, what an interesting approach to design a home. I want to thank Microsoft for this fascinating look at the shape of things to come.
While we're waiting for him to bring the video, we had a question over here.
If there's no food in the refrigerator, does it say no reservations?
The question is, if there's no food in the refrigerator, does it ask you to make reservations? That's a very good question. Okay, remember that what you just looked at was actually produced in 1999, which is, what, 15 years ago, and yet everything that they talked about there, with the exception of a trash can that read the item that you threw away, I believe practically everything you saw there is available to us today. I saw a lot of people winch at, where the car was located on the map. One of my friends, who is a member of the computer club, sent me an interesting website from Google one day, and I put my telephone number in it, and it showed me where I had been from the time I got up in the morning until that moment in time, all day that day. So every trip that I made, I left this area, I went to Randall Road, I left Randall Road and went down to Elgin. I went from Elgin back up to Del Webb and so on and so forth. It tracked and put a dot for every single place that I had been. Our smartphones, if you don't turn that off, has that already built into it today, so they can track every movement. So you would know where someone is. So today, what I decided to talk about, I thought that was an interesting video, mobile phones, tablets, automobile technology. We don't think about that so much, but I happen to drive a Prius, and my wife has concluded a couple times that that's nothing but a mobile computer, because most of what goes on in that Prius is driven by technology today. Streaming media, what's happening? Just a couple of things were announced within the last week dealing with streaming media. Home technology, email advances, and mobile payments. And those are the things I'm going to talk about today. So let's talk about mobile phones. The most recent release, of course, was iPhone 6, and that's been a rage with the younger set, as you know. Anyone in here buy an iPhone 6 yet? Oh, 1, 2, okay, yeah, 3. Okay, I think that's a really, really great design of a telephone, something really new on the market. You can get it in either the standard version, which is 4.7, or the new Plus, which is 5.5. Excuse me, 5.5, which is the same as Samsung's large version 5 phone. It runs a new operating system called 8. Microsoft comes up with all kinds of names, and Google even worse. Google has all kinds of names for their system, but Apple has stayed very simple. They started with operating system number 1, and we're now on operating system number 8. Siri controls the device, so everything you saw in that video a minute ago, where the woman was talking to the system, that's essentially how this new iPhone is designed to work. You talk to it as opposed to command it with your thumb. You communicate health information. This is really an advanced feature of what Samsung put on their Series 5 phone, where it will track and work with you on health. It's got a health built-in application on your phone now, and it'll track all of your physical activities. It will track your medications. They've gone one step further and allow this now to talk to your doctor. So when you put this information in, or allow it to track this information, you can set it up so it will communicate that information to your doctor. If you have some sort of chronic disease or chronic situation, that's something that's probably very helpful for you. Messages with video or voice. It has a camera. Now the camera feature, and my son and daughter-in-law just moved to the iPhone versus the Androids, and this was the feature they moved for. The cameras are so much faster. When you've got little kids and you're trying to snap pictures quickly, those phones will just snap away, as opposed to the Android phones that's still trying to catch up with that technology. They can create time-lapse videos or panoramic images. That's one of their hallmarks of their camera. There's a picture of what the iPhone 6 looks like. One of the things that's interesting is you can get 6 icons down and 4 across, or 24, and this is the standard. This is not the larger model. So you can crowd a lot more information on here in terms of just going to a single screen to access what you're looking for. Other phones, I did not go through a plethora of phones. The other major phone on the market today is the Samsung. Samsung Galaxy S6 is scheduled to come out in early 2015. It's going to be the major competitor of the iPhone. They go back and forth. One of them will have the most advanced features today, the other one will have the most advanced features tomorrow. The one advanced feature that Samsung came out with that I think the iPhone has, correct me if I'm wrong, but was at what they call touch technology, where you could touch the two phones back to back and it would automatically transfer pictures back and forth between one phone and the other. That was developed by Samsung. Now I believe it's available on the iPhones as well. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4, it's the latest version. It has a high resolution screen. It's a much faster processor. And I wanted to show you one of what I thought is a cool feature of the Samsung Note Edge. It's a limited contact edition. What you see on the screen is if you travel, and let's say, and we all travel, and we want to have a clock with us or a clock radio or what have you, this has a curved edge on it. So instead of having a casement around the edge of your phone, the edge actually curves around on it. You lay it down flat at night on your nightstand, and you can see the clock during the evening. And of course, you can set it for an alarm that'll automatically turn on and play music for you if that's what you want to do, or it'll just buzz, or however you want to set your alarm. I thought that was a cool feature. Depends on whether you really want it, but it's a cool feature, okay? Tablets. Again, now the Apple has come out with their Air 2 versus the iPad Air. It's a faster processor, improved front and rear cameras. Again, that camera thing, they're moving the same technology between the phone and the tablets these days. It's thinner and lighter. That's the major thing that's happened. Interestingly enough, in that video, they talked about an ebook. Remember, they commented as they were getting in bed an ebook. An ebook didn't come, let's see, was it 2007 or 2009 that the e-reader actually came out from Amazon. That was the very first e-reader on the market, was Amazon. So think about that, 1999 to 2007, they actually visualized that. Now today, and one of the advantages of the thinner, lighter design, if you know, is if you pick up a tablet, they tend to be fairly heavy, so if you hold them for any period of time and you try to read on one of them, they get a little awkward. Anti-reflective screens, that's something they continue to improve. So far, as much as I know about the tablets, the color tablets, which are fantastic for videos and what have you, don't still work real well in bright daylight. That's still one of the major issues with the color tablets. That's one thing Amazon has worked on, and if you've been to any of my sessions on tablets, and I've talked about those, the e-reader, they have a screen that's designed for reading outdoor in sunlight. That is something that even though they've got the anti-reflective screen, they're still difficult to read in bright sunlight outside. Touch ID fingerprint sensor, that's something that came also on the iPhone. Greater built-in storage, and 2 sizes, the 10 and the 7-inch. Okay, the next one that I wanted to talk about, which is pretty exciting, is the Amazon Fire HD. I want you to consider the Amazon Fire as a media type of device, okay? You certainly can read ebooks on it, that's what it's designed for, but you also can play videos. It's really designed for that. It has a very high resolution screen. There's a lot of videos and books that are available to you on Amazon, both for purchase, and if you're a Prime member, there's a lot of stuff that's free for you to use. It's got great performance. It's a sharp display. It has Mayday. Has anybody in here heard of Mayday? On the Amazon, you have. Okay, that's a pretty cool feature. You actually start talking to it, and a person comes on in Amazon, and a little window pops up, and they actually talk to you. So it's the way that they interface with help. As opposed to calling them on the phone and talking to them, you say Mayday, and when you say Mayday, it automatically pops up the screen. It automatically contacts Amazon and then you're sitting there talking to an Amazon tech rep that's helping you fix whatever it is, and perhaps they even, because of that connection, can come in and help you and show you what to do. It has no built-in storage expansion, neither does the iPad. That's one of the things that they look in the future with. This is all cloud storage capability. It comes in two sizes, an 8.9 and a 7-inch. Any questions so far? Questions? Okay. Microsoft Surface Pro 3. A couple of people I know just got these, and I would say for the first time, there is a potential replacement for a laptop. Now, in the bottom of this, it says it's still more successful as a tablet than a laptop. The version that you see sitting in this video does not include a keyboard, but they do come with keyboards now, and quite frankly, the power of processing for most everything we would do with a laptop computer is now available to you with this, and it will handle latency programs, which is one of the keys to what most of the tablets and what have you would not handle. So this is really, I think, an exciting advancement. It is a little pricey today. It's really designed and focused on the business world as opposed to us as consumers. But if you're looking to replace a laptop with a larger, bulkier model and want to go to something like a tablet size, this is a good replacement. It's thinner, it's high resolution screen. You can see the kickstand is also variable, so it'll set upwards like a laptop would, but you can also continue to rotate it, and it'll lay down and have just a slight angle like a tablet would if you have a tablet sitting on a desk. It's optimized for a digital pen, as opposed to, you can see the pen in the picture, as opposed to just using your finger for touch. Okay, enough on those. Automobile technology. Just doing this, I thought, what's really happened in technology in the world of automobiles in the last several years? Okay, we back?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about.
Get closer.
Closer?
No.
No. It's working. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what happened there, but at any rate, take a look at what's really happened in the technology now. I went across several different models of automobiles, so not everything that you see on the screen today is available on every single car you might want to buy out there. But I just went through some things like a solar roof that automatically powers a fan in your car to keep the car cool while you're sitting in bright sunlight, and also provides enough power to turn the air conditioner on for 3 minutes to cool the car down before you actually get in it. That's the remote air conditioning. Smart key system technology. I think most all cars have that now, so you just walk up, and when you grab the door handle, if you have your key with you, what do they call that, the fob? If you have your fob within some distance, very close, you can just open the door automatically. You don't have to have the key and actually fumble with getting it in a key slot. Dynamic radar cruise control. Excuse me, what that means is if you're cruising down the road and you sees a car in front of you and it sees that you're coming up on it quickly, it will automatically slow the car down. Pre-collision system, they tie together. That's essentially what they do. Adaptive cruise control allows you to, again, that also takes weather into consideration. Lane keep assist, if you start to stray from a lane, it looks at the lines on the road and it'll warn you that your car is actually straying inside or outside of those lanes. Blind spot alerts, if a car is approaching you and all of a sudden it's in your blind spot, it'll notify you and let you know that. I can assume your car has all that, right? Every one of those features. Tailgating warnings, vehicle proximity notification, backup cameras. I believe in 2016, I read somewhere, will be mandatory on all cars in 2016, regardless of models. Dual zone electronics, temperature controls. Not every car has that, but a lot of them do have it. Voice activation technology, Bluetooth, and satellite radio. And remember, all of this is computer technology. That's what's available today. Now, I said coming soon, but when I went out and looked this morning, I realized that a lot of this stuff has been in test. Every one of these features are actually in test on a number of cars in the world today. So we have rear-mounted radar, which is more advanced than a backup. Backup camera allows you to see what's going on. These will actually sense and notify you. And in addition to that, they have, let's see, someone in the camera part of it that ties to that. Instead of having a single camera that's, I think they're 180-degree cameras, actually will have multiple cameras and let you look around and what have you as to what's going on. Night vision with pedestrian detection. That's pretty cool if you're driving in a dark area and there are people out walking. I don't know if you saw the news this morning, but 3 13-year-old girls were killed. I don't know if they were in the Chicago area somewhere, California, that were out trick-or-treating last night. I'm certain they were probably dressed in dark clothing and the driver didn't see them. This type of thing would be very useful. Automatic high beam control, that's been around for a lot of years, but it's getting smarter and smarter. Parental control. This sort of ties back to what we were looking at earlier about where a child is driving and what have you, but it'll be built into the cars and you will be able to control that. The way it was described in the article, and by the way, at the bottom is a link so you can go and read these articles. Excuse me. The way it was described in there is that you will actually be able to purchase a separate key for the kid, for this child, and actually program certain features into it so the car will react differently depending on who the drivers are. GPS vehicle tracking, we talked about that. Driver capability. This is impaired driving, but not necessarily focused on drugs and alcohol. It's also focused on tiredness. It will sense, it will know. Excuse me, somebody give me some water. I'm getting really thirsty. Excuse me. It'll not only it'll know as a driver based on my key that I use. It will know how I normally drive, and if I start to get really tired and I'm driving at night and I'm straying or I'm slowing down and speeding up and what have you, it will detect that and audibly warn you to wake up, or flashlights or whatever to make you more alert as to what's going on. And then a self-driving car. Has everybody seen the pictures of the cars they're testing in California right now? Google is the major developer behind this, so we'll have to see where they go. Excuse me. Okay, enough about that type of technology. That's all hardware technology and somewhat software. But now I want to talk a little bit about entertainment. Right now, most of us think of about 3 types of entertainment systems or capabilities that we have in this neighborhood. One is Comcast, one is Uverse, and the third one is satellite. There's a couple different satellite companies, and we all tie those to our TV. Well, the future is not to do that. The future is really in streaming video, and this is not something that we look out to 2024. Thank you. It's not something we look out to 2024, but we actually are looking out to just next year, 2015. Right now, you have a couple of free ones that are out there. YouTube. How many of you use YouTube with any frequency? 2 major features of YouTube that are available. One is Help Me, and that is really great. I don't know, Ken, 10 million different Help Me things or more at least.
Anything you can think of, anything you need to fix, go to YouTube. It's out there.
Yep. What Ken said was anything you need to fix, just go to YouTube and type it in, and it'll come back and show you how to repair something. Hulu, and also in YouTube, if you like old videos and music, there's a great deal of that out there if you just want to go out and search it. It's a lot of fun to do that.
Hey Bill,
yeah.
There are more hits on YouTube than Google today.
There are more hits on YouTube than Google daily. Yep. And that's primarily from the younger set. The younger set uses YouTube extensively on their smartphones, absolutely. Hulu is a streaming video system that's been out there for several years. They run TV reruns of TV programs as well as some movies. On the free side of it, when they first came out, they ran a lot of stuff free. It's getting lesser and lesser these days, so you have to go to the paid version of it. But there is still some value to looking at Hulu. The paid versions are Netflix. Everybody here knows who Netflix is, but Hulu Plus is right up there with Netflix in terms of what they're trying to offer. I believe the difference is that Hulu Plus is focused on reruns of TV shows. Now, they both do both of these, but that's their major marketplace, whereas Netflix is more on actual movies, full-length running movies. Coming in 2015, HBO has made an announcement. It's upset the cable companies, but they're going to offer a streaming video version. So instead of buying a package from your provider, from your TV provider or cable entertainment provider, you'll be able to go out and subscribe to HBO and stream it directly into your home. CBS is doing the same thing. They are going to offer, I believe they said for $5.90. They've already announced their pricing. HBO is not. $5.99 a month. I'm really dry this morning. Excuse me. These are some of the things that go ahead, Bob.
There's one that you missed, and that's the new Amazon device that costs $100. And I just talk into it, and it finds any kind of movie or whatever I want to watch and puts it on my TV.
Bob just mentioned an Amazon device that he paid $100 for, and he talks into it, and it will find and stream on his TV most any movie that he wants to view. Today, I don't know how many of you use this, but today, all of the major networks, I didn't put CNN up there, I realized it this morning, but they do it as well. If you want to see a prior version of a show, say like 60 Minutes, you want to see 60 Minutes, you just go to cbs.com and you can pull up prior versions of a show. And actually, when you look at 60 Minutes, if they have 3 segments on there, you can isolate that one segment and just watch that one segment. But all of the reruns of all of the shows, the major primetime shows, are available on all of the networks. I went and tested them, and every one is sitting there. What do you watch this on? Well, probably the first thing that you might want to think about is a smart TV. And smart TVs allow you to go out and just stream video directly on your smart TV. The next one is tablets, smartphones, and computers. So what's new in home technology? Ma'am?
If you don't have a smart TV, there are devices that you can put on your not so smart TV that will allow you to stream, like Roku. And is that the only one, or are there all kinds?
Okay, the question was, if you don't have a smart TV, there are devices such as Roku, and that's one of them. There are several of them out there on the marketplace today that you can attach to your TV and actually use that. I chose not to talk about those today because I'm talking about technology of the future and not technology of the past. I would say that if you need to buy a new TV or want to buy a new TV today, a smart TV as a function of that TV ought to be included in what you buy. The cost of them have come down so dramatically in the last 3 or 4 years that you really shouldn't buy a TV, a major size TV, without adding that feature to it. They come with either Wi-Fi or connect cable to them, so yeah. But yes, you can get that if you want to use a Roku or other device. Home technology, I'm going to show you another video. I'm going to highlight quickly what they are. Light controls, automatic vacuum cleaner, Wi-Fi thermostats. Of course, Wi-Fi thermostats are not tied necessarily to all smart homes, but you can do that independently. Home view position cameras, remote control clothes washers, TV communications, refrigerator with LCD, and voice activation, just in time for me to get some more water.
It is CES 2014, and we are at the center of the action right here at the Samsung booth. And we're right here in our smart home section. I want to welcome all of you to the exciting world of a Samsung smart home. It's the next generation of state-of-the-art connectivity, efficiency, and convenience from Samsung, of course. Now, what comes to your mind when you think about a smart home? What do you think about? You get fantastic visions of artificial intelligence or science fiction with robots flying around your living room. I bet you think of lots of different futuristic things that, may someday enhance the quality of your life. Well, folks, you know what? That someday is here. It is now. It is today. If you're picturing smart living and beyond, welcome home. You have just entered your new Samsung smart home. So welcome, my friends. So, what is this smart home anyway? I know some folks are like, what does this really mean? Well, I'll tell you what. A smart home is a home in which all of your devices, and I'm not just talking about a TV and a smartphone. I'm talking about your lights, your vacuum cleaner, your appliances. Everything is able to communicate with each other, and you have the power in the palm of your hand to control it, even when you're on the go. That's what it's all about. So to further demonstrate how this technology works, we have a little scenario set up. So I'm going to tell you a story about a lady named Lori, and she's right here. Ladies and gentlemen, give Lori a big round of applause, please. Thank you. Ow! Lori's here. So here's our story, our scenario. Lori lives in New York City, in Manhattan. She's a young professional in her 30s. She works very hard, and she just so happens to have a Samsung smart home. So we'll be able to kind of hang out with her and see what she does in her day-to-day, so we know what it would be like to have one ourselves. Sound good? Yeah? All right, let's check it out. So, Lori, just do your thing. Pretend no one's here. No one's watching you at all. No cameras whatsoever are on you at all right now. Yeah, so she's getting ready for work. She's racing around, and just like every morning, she has a cameraman following her through her living room. But yeah, so she grabs her purse, she grabs her smartphone, and look at this, she forgot to turn on her washer. I noticed that. I also see that she's already in her car driving, but she forgot to turn off her lights. And what is this? Oh my God, the air conditioning is still on. My mom would kill me if I forgot to turn the AC off. So what should she do? Should she come home to turn all this stuff off? Man, there's a lot of traffic in Manhattan. It could take forever. You know what? I'll give you one better. All she has to do, because she's wearing the Galaxy Gear, ta-da! Ooh, oh yeah, Galaxy Gear. She has Galaxy Gear. All she has to do is use her voice activation, speak right into it, and say, going out.
Going out.
Going out. Look at that. Her lights dim down. Her air conditioning starts to turn off. The robot vacuum cleaner is alive. It's about to start its pre-programmed cleaning cycle so that when she returns home, the floors will already be cleaned. She didn't have to come home. All she had to do was talk right into her Galaxy Gear, and bada bing, bada boom, the house responds. That's what it's all about. Now picture this. 2 more hours go by. She's at work, and she starts thinking for a second. She's like, I wonder what's going on in my house. What is going on there? She has this cat that goes crazy, tears up the couch and everything. She wants to make sure it's behaving itself. So what do? I'll tell you what she can do. She can go right here on her Samsung smartphone, and she can use a feature called Home View. And with Home View, you're able to wirelessly connect with a camera that you have right here in your living room. You can look around your living room and see what's going on. All wirelessly, all remotely, all from the palm of your hand, right here on your Samsung smartphone. So picture this, 2 more hours go by, and ding! Oh my goodness, she forgot to turn on the washing machine. Remember that? She forgot to turn it on when she left. So what can she do? You know what? It's very simple, because with her Samsung Smart Home application, she can communicate with all of her appliances in her home. She can talk to them. There's her washing machine. She can go right into the washing machine, press a button, and the load starts. She can control her washing machine from the palm of her hand at work, many, many miles away. That's what it's all about. And then check this out. Say a couple more hours go by. She's coming back home after a long day of work. She's arrived. She wants to make sure her house is ready for her return. So once again, she goes to her awesome Galaxy Gear and says, coming home.
Coming home.
So what's going on now is the house is preparing for a return. The lights have turned on. The AC is starting up again. The robot vacuum cleaner is finishing up its job. It knows to go back home to its charger. It's all good. She didn't have to do anything. Just say those simple words right into her Galaxy Gear. So finally, she's able to sit down and relax after a long long day at work for a moment. So of course, she's going to turn on her Samsung Smart TV, and she can hang, like, oh, what? Do you see this, folks? The TV is communicating with her washer, and the washer told her that the load is done. I can't tell you how many times in my life I've done a load of laundry, forgot about it, and wake up the next day, rewash it, all that kind of stuff. That's a thing of the past, because now they're talking to each other. They're smart. They can communicate. It's fantastic. Now she's in the kitchen. She's watching her programs, but she doesn't want to miss the action, and she doesn't have to, because she has an LCD screen that you can establish connections with your other televisions in your home, and you can mirror whatever's on those screens, or you can watch on all the channel, whatever you want to do. That's what it's all about. So it's now time for her to watch a movie. Okay, so you know what you can do? Let me show you this remote control. This is fantastic, folks. First of all, it has touch capability, so it responds to your touch. But also, have you ever talked to a remote control? Before, a few years ago, people would think you're crazy if they saw you talk to a remote control, right? Well, now, you can actually talk to a remote control. But it can. It has voice activation right here, so you can speak voice commands into your remote control and control your house. So you can do something like, for instance, if you wanted to, you could do enter movie mode, and you can have it set up so your lights dim down, your bass cranks up, the surround sound system comes to life, and your AC turns down so it doesn't distract from the sound, and you're able to control it or automate it with just a simple voice command right here from your Samsung remote control. Now, last thing, guys, she's had this long, hard day at work. It's almost time for her to finally go to sleep and get some rest. So all she has to do to prepare the house is enter her good night mode. And with the good night mode, you can use it with your voice command. All your lights start to slowly dim down, giving you time to get in bed. The AC goes to perfect temperature, and she's out. I think she's about to go to sleep, folks. And she is out. After a long day at work, she finally got some rest. Ladies and gentlemen, give Lori a big round of applause, please. Fantastic high five for you, Lori. So, folks, this isn't some fantasy of the future, some crazy thing you're going to see years from now. This is today. This is now. All of this technology will be available this year, 2014, from Samsung. You guys are some special people because you're one of the first group to see this technology live right here at CES 2014. It's my pleasure to be your MC. I'm Madison Alexander. Ladies and gentlemen, you're fantastic. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much. Feel free to hang out in our booth all day. We don't want you guys to go anywhere. See you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Anybody going to rush out and buy a Samsung home system now? Pretty interesting, huh? One of the neat gadgets that I saw in the when I was doing the research is a light switch that you see up on the screen that I don't know about you, but when we first moved into our home, there were a lot of I call them 4-gang light switches, you know, and you try to figure out, well, which switch works with what? This is a smart light switch that actually lays out the floor plan in your house, and it tells you which light you want to turn on. So if I want a lamp in the living room versus a hall light that's in my hall, etc., this smart switch would tell me which one to touch and which one to do. I thought that was pretty cool. Certainly it's part of the home of the future. Now, advanced email features, and I know I'm running pretty fast through this presentation, but one of the things that's coming with Gmail, and whatever Gmail does, Yahoo follows. Whatever Yahoo does, Gmail follows. So if you're using either Gmail, Yahoo, I don't know about AOL. They sometimes follow, sometimes don't. But this is a new feature. Today, if you're using Gmail, you notice that they've started reorganizing your emails into primary emails, secondary emails, and then advertisements. I think they call them promotions. They call them. Sometime in early 2015, this is what it's going to look like. If you look at these different ones, these different categories, it will automatically detect. It does now automatically detect in my email box what those different categories are for the 3 that I gave you, and it puts them into those categories, and that's what's going to happen coming in the future. The key to this is that it organizes your emails so that important emails that you need to see are prioritized and put into the priority box for you to read first, and then the other emails will be something that you'll deal with later. That may or may not, depending on how many emails you get in a day, be an important feature, but it's one that Gmail is working Mobile payments. There's some controversy going on with Apple Pay right now. You've probably heard that. Some of the stores have selected not to use Apple Pay. One of the key features to this is they're actually called them digital wallets as opposed to a payment type of system. That's what Google calls it, a digital wallet. You tie your credit cards and your debit cards to these wallets, and the key feature to this is biometrics for security purposes. And when you transfer the information, you're no longer transferring your credit card information, you're transferring a encrypted key that for that payment system that these stores will not store. So the problems that you've seen or heard about, or perhaps some of you like myself were given new cards because of either Target or Home Depot or something that happened in the last several months, that these cards or this payment system would prevent some of that from happening. The key to this all working is that the vendor who you will be paying with has to have a receptive device to work with any of these different systems that we have up here. But in essence, it's on the iPhone 6. It's selected with you can select a credit card or debit cards. You can have multiple cards in here and decide which one you want to pay with. If you lose the iPhone, or if you have it set up on your iPad, the 6, the operating system, has a Find My Phone device and allows you remotely to connect to that and wipe all that information off of there. Now remember that the only way that this is going to work to begin with is through a thumbprint. So if the person who picks up, and let's just assume you've lost it as opposed to any other way that the device leaves you, they really will not work without that thumbprint. So it's not going to allow them to use this pay system. So fingerprint security is a real key to this. Google has the same thing, known as the Google Digital Wallet, all the same features. In addition to what I showed you on the previous screen, it has a store gift card capability in it. Did I have a question in the back over here? Yes. If you lost your iPhone, how do you connect what? If you lost your iPhone, how do you connect remotely to it? You connect remotely to it by the phone number. So let's say you have an iPhone and an iPad as an example. You could connect to that iPhone with your iPad and just basically shut it down. That's what this thing, yeah. If you read that, I put you the link on that if you want to see it when I post this up on the website. Go to that link and it describes how that feature works. But basically you connect to it with the phone number. And once you get into it, the Apple, you've got to have an Apple and an Apple. I don't think you could use an Android and an Apple. Apple and an Apple technology in the operating system will allow you to shut it down. Mm-hmm. Okay. The digital wallet for Google, in addition to the other capabilities that I talked about, allows you to store gift cards and also loyalty programs. That's an expansion. In other words, that has more capability. They don't push the thumbprint capability on it, but I know as an example, I use an iPhone, not an iPhone, I'm sorry. I have a Samsung version 5, and it has a thumbprint capability. I haven't activated it, but it is on there. So if I choose to use it as a digital wallet, I would definitely activate the fingerprint. I said thumbprint, but it's a fingerprint. Choose whichever fingerprint you want to use. It's password protected when you get ready to use it. And we're moving more and more to brick and mortar stores having this capability. Again, it's going to depend on their payment pad systems, the ones that we scan our credit cards into. That's the same system that you'll have to use, and you'll just put your phone up next to it and use the payment system through that. PayPal has been around a long time. You're probably aware of it. They said they had a large number, I think 150 million users daily of PayPal. It allows you to use a credit card or a debit card for payments. It has quite a bit of security built into it. I know my son is a huge user of PayPal, and he does a lot of work on eBay, and he has used that capability of Shop with Peace, where things have not gotten to him, and after a while he just goes out and tells PayPal, you know what, I never received this merchandise. Boom, the payment that he made is credited back into his account automatically. They are quite good at that. In addition, the other two did not give me anything about currencies, but PayPal crosses over 26 different currencies in the world. So this is a major one. It is password security. It's almost exclusively used on the internet for shopping. How many in here have a PayPal account? Quite a few. Oh wow. So I don't need to talk to you about that. You're pretty savvy with it. Questions? That's my presentation for the day. Way in the back. Question, way in the back. Any up front here?
There you go.
So
Yeah.
does this mean that we'll be able to bring our vacuum cleaners and refrigerators to the computer lab?
I don't think we're going to get into refrigerator repair or vacuum cleaner repair anytime soon.
What's the security? How, with hacking, with Home Depot and all the other stores, if I'm using PayPal or my computer or whatever, what's the hacking?
Okay, I don't want to get too technical here, but in essence, when you pay something, when you scan your credit card, okay, in order for the store to collect that information from, or to collect the payment from Visa, it has to provide Visa with a certain amount of information. And quite frankly, the way those have been set up in the past is the credit card and the expiration date, which all of that is written on your scan, okay? So they've been storing that information. How this all happened is they store that information in their computers. They store and forward overnight, get their payments, come back, okay? And then for whatever reason, they chose as a company to keep that information on file, as opposed to some vendors who say, after I've received it, I wipe it off my file. They chose to keep it on their file. You're not sending that information with the Apple Pay or with the Google Digital Wallet. You're sending a different encrypted system, series of numbers that don't mean anything to anyone except when they go to the vendor Visa. Visa, then you set that up with Visa, and so it doesn't send your card number, it sends us encrypted information, and Visa then sends the information back, plus the store doesn't store it anymore. So that is where it helps to protect. Other questions?
Okay, two quick questions. One, can you give us that website for tracking where you've been all day? I think that would be really helpful. It's fine, but for people that like have memory issues and stuff, it would be nice to know where they are at different times of the day.
I look for that. I'm gonna have to ask the person to send it to me to see if he can find it again. I can't find the email they sent me for some reason, but I'll keep looking for it, and if I do, I'll post it out on the Computer Club website.
Okay, thank you. And the second question was, all this is very dependent on electricity. So if you get this smart home, you'd probably have to get some kind of generator or something, because you would be out of luck. You couldn't probably open your door or anything if the electricity was out for, say, 3 days or something.
Well, that would be a major issue. Yes, if your electricity went out, you would not be able to access your home. But I mean, we have the same problem with garage door openers today as well. That if the power goes out, you can't open the garage door unless you pull the cord, go inside, pull the cord, and manually lift it. However, there are battery backups on those that you can buy today.
How does the smartphone credit card technology, how's that all going to interface with the new credit cards that are going to have the chips?
I thought about that. That's a good question. I thought about that when I was doing the research. They're going to proceed with that chip technology built into the credit card, because you've got to assume that only a percentage of America will go to smartphone, quick or digital wallet technology. So I think you're going to have both of them going at the same time. I don't think there is no interface between them. There's nothing that interfaces that I'm aware of between them.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone.
Tony.